I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, though. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. Welcome. I'm in. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm in. Welcome to Speak. 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 I'm in. I'm in. Who you with, Kirk, dog? Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt, dog. I'm Who You With, Kurt, dog. Want to welcome everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house. Y'all can live chat with us during the show. No matter which platform you're on, you can live chat with us. And also, we're going to talk about a story that came out, actually happened a week ago, but the news is just not really hitting the circuit. So tonight we're going to talk about Patrick Warner Sr., another black man killed by the hands of the police in Killeen, Texas. Also, we're going to talk about Wesley Allen Beeler. Yeah, that's one of those Trump supporters trying to get into the White House. And also Linda Magovern, another Trump supporter trying to get into the White House. So we're going to talk about that. So let's get this party started. And y'all can live chat with us in the chat room, regardless of which platform you're on. So let's talk about it. Last week, Patrick Warner Sr. out of Killeen, Texas, was having a mental breakdown. His son called the police, asked for help. Killeen Police Department said they did not have any mental health counselors available. So they sent one police officer out, Renato. I don't want to mess up his last name, but Canteros, Renato Canteros came out, and he come out, ring the doorbell, and it was all caught on the door ring.com. And as he came out, he rang the doorbell, and I guess Mr. Warner tell him he wanted to come in, but he told him no. So he leave out, and Mr. Warner come out the door, hands raised up in the air. So you could clearly see he didn't have anything in his hands. And Officer Renato Cantero tried to use a taser on him. And as he used that taser, it was ineffective. So Mr. Warner got up, not in an aggressive way, because I know the first thing people are going to say, oh, he was aggressive. No, he wasn't. Not in an aggressive way. He got up trying to figure out why he just got tased. Once again, no weapon in his hands. All of a sudden, one shot come out. And and I think it was his daughter or someone came out, and then she heard one shot, and you can see in the video she started going back into the house. Then you hear 3 more shots. Now, take it. First of all, a couple of things wrong with this picture. Because this officer, if it's a mental illness call, he's not qualified to be able to determine what action need to be taken. So when they talk about defunding the police, that's in order to have people that is qualified to deal with these situations. Not no scary cops. Just because you see a big black man approaching you, trying to figure out what's going on, and then you decide to shoot him. We see this so many times, and here in 2021, we're still seeing it. But at the same time, when that terrorist attack happened a week and a half ago, one person got shot. Even though the news tell you 5 people died, one person got shot. An officer was beaten with a fire extinguisher. And the other 3 had medical conditions that was there for the protest. So when we say Black Lives Matter, yeah, it does. Black lives do matter. Black lives do matter. Now, I'm like I said, I go back, I read all the comments, and for the young lady that left the comment on Facebook, hopefully she's listening. Maybe she'll learn something tonight, because she come on there and want to kind of be smart a little bit and talking about the Democrat for defunding the police. No, it's a reason why we need to defund them, not to take away, have less officers on the street. How about the fact that we allocate that money to go to someone that is trained professionals that can deal with mental illness? But instead, you want to send these scary cops out there, and especially when it comes down to a black person. They like to shoot first, ask questions later. And that's not what you need to do if you are for everybody. Black people are the most people that are killed by the police. Yeah, some people are going to say, no, it's more white folks killed by them. Well, technically, if it is, we hear about the black folks before we hear about the white folks. Either way, it shouldn't happen. Regardless of the race of the individual, it should not happen at all. But once again, when it comes down to the black community, when you have these scary cops that is policing our neighborhood and killing us when we call for help. Same thing happened in Pennsylvania last year. The brother was having a mental breakdown. Yeah, he had a knife, but a taser was not even an option in that. And they was far enough, and it was 2 officers. They was far enough where they could have used the taser and possibly stop them. But they didn't even try to use the taser. When it come down to black people, they love to shoot first, ask question later. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. So at what point are we going to say enough is enough? At some point, we have to say, look, no, we're not going to do it. And we need to hold these elected officials accountable, because they are the ones that are not doing anything to hold these officers accountable. That's the reason why it's so important for us to get out and vote.
especially local. Your local election is more important than anything. Yeah, the president does make a difference, but our local election is very important. Why? That's where our laws are made at locally. So, one way of preventing it, get off your tail and go to the polls and vote. Welcome to the show, T-Cal. Um, Said, let's get it started then. Radio Chaos, greeting to you, my brother from Canada. Welcome to the show. T-Cal said, I heard about that story, so sad, made me think an issue that could have turned bad with my father and his mental health. See, that's the thing we have to be concerned about as black people. Yeah, it been incidents where uh, some white people that had some mental issues, but then they turned around, they still living today. Now, last year was an incident, I think it was in, I want to say Colorado Springs, where a mother called the police to get help for her. I don't even know if he was a teenager yet, but her young son. And when the police got there, he took off and started running. And when he started running, the police shot and killed him. We don't need those type of cops. That's a child. So when it's enough, it's enough. At some point, we have to say, you know what? We're tired of it. We're tired of it. At some point, we have to say enough is enough. So hopefully, they hold this officer accountable. Of course, he's on a paid vacation, administration leave. There have been protests in Killeen calling for the dismissal of this officer, saying he should be terminated and also should be arrested, which I agree. Because the video I seen, it was no threat. Besides the color of his skin, it was absolutely no threat at all. Like I said, for the ones just now tuning in, first time listening, you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. You can actually live chat with us in the chat room. Let me know how you feel about this brother being shot down in his front yard and the pain that the son is having to go through. The pain that the son have to go through because he called the police. Well, he called for mental health assistance. And now his father is dead. I seen the interview with the son. He said, I can't grieve. I want answers. I called to get my father some mental health. But now he's dead. When it's enough, it's enough. This is the reason why we need to hold these cops accountable, and we also need to hold our elected officials accountable, because they need to change the laws. Just like if anybody else went out there and shot someone, they will be arrested. Well, those cops they put their drawers on just like I put mine on. Yeah, they hold a badge, but that don't mean they're above the law. Read a story last week. I'm in Dallas, but the neighboring city, Grand Prairie, they end up firing one of their officers. Why? For the simple fact, he took a Uber or Lyft over right here in Dallas and got upset at the driver and pulled the pistol out on him. So I'm glad Grand Prairie Police Department fired him. He should have been fired. Why are you pulling out a pistol on a Lyft for an Uber driver? See, this type of stuff, we don't need those type of cops. And he should not be allowed to be a cop nowhere else. He shouldn't even be allowed to be a security officer. And while I was reading that story, Grand Prairie Police Department, they actually added help where they can deal with mental health calls. So I'm glad they have took the step to do that, to prevent stuff like this from happening. At some point, we have to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Because as a black man, it's scary when I leave outside my home. Because when you have cops like this on the force, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know who you're going to encounter. We've seen this movie before several times, too many times. Then on top of that, we've seen too many incidents where people were following everything the cop asked them to do. Hand them their license. Bam, shot, dead. Enough is enough. And I'm going to reach out to the council to see if we could get them on the show this week. Because it's bad enough we dealing with the terrorist attack in Washington. We're dealing with all these threats that are going on. Now we've been dealing with the cops shooting unarmed black people. We have to take a stand. We have to. T-Cal said they don't even ask questions. They just shoot. Exactly. Why? Because the color of our skin. That's the only thing I can see why. Because our skin color is a threat to most people. That's the reason why you have racist folks going around talking about Black Lives Matter. It's a terrorist group. But then it took them for a while to call the ones that actually did the terrorists. I think it had been 4 or 5 hours before somebody said, no, they terrorists. They are a terrorist group that attacked the Capitol. But let it be a Black Lives Matter protest. You're going to have National Guard. Every policeman on the force going to be there. And it's peaceful. But as we seen a week and a half ago, you didn't see all the National Guard lined up on the steps of the Capitol, preventing them from coming in. As a matter of fact, and I was going to talk about this story, but I didn't pull it up, but I'm going to hit on it. That's just like, who is that? Jeannie Adams, I believe. Let me make sure I have her name right. She was one of the ones that was on Twitter last week doing the protests and taking pictures, talking about they just stormed the Capitol. It was the best day of her life. That's what she said. It was the best day of her life. But now she turned herself in. I think it was either Thursday. I think it was Friday. Either Thursday or Friday she turned herself in. Now she making videos crying, asking Trump to pardon her. Because they was marching for him. I told y'all, Trump don't give a damn about y'all. For the simple fact, Trump only concerned about himself. And that's it. He don't care about y'all. He probably was sitting up laughing. All my supporters supporting me. But I'm gonna ask this question because that's what my title was gonna be tonight. It came out last week. Trump planning on pardoning a lot of folks before he leave office. How would you feel if he pardoned all those terrorists from last week? How would you feel about it? We've already seen how they made special privilege for them. The guy with the painted face and the horns on, he only wanted to eat organic. Arizona judge gave them permission to serve him organic food in prison. You should have thought about that before you did the crime. Because either you're going to eat or you're going to live on bread and water or something. I don't know. Because in prison, this is not a restaurant where you go in and place your order. You just would have been in bad shape. Because so our tax dollars have to pay for him to get organic food. And let it be known. Just imagine what problems it's going to cause if other prisoners find out that he's getting special privilege about the type of food he eats. Yeah, that's not going to be good at all. So, where did I stop? Radio Chaos said mental health is a forgotten issue of society nowadays. Yes, that's the reason why I try to have counselors on the show, because it's so many people struggling right now mentally. It's a lot of people struggling financially, but mentally, it's a lot of people struggling. Like I said, I take counseling every week. And my counseling is really working because I'm doing good without cussing that much. So it's working. But the reality, we all need to get some counseling for the simple fact you got pandemic going on. You got race threats going on. Terrorist attack going on, police killing folks. That mess with you mentally. Even if you feel like you strong and can deal with it, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for it. Nothing wrong with it. I tell this story all the time. I realized I needed counseling after I got out the hospital in 2018 after spending 6 weeks in a hospital, almost losing my life. And we was at some friends' home. And I heard my wife apologize because of something I said. I knew then I needed counseling because she should never have to apologize for something that I say. I knew then I needed counseling. Of course, when I went in there kind of like what most people go in there. Oh, I'm not going to tell this person my business. I went in for 2 weeks straight. I didn't say a thing. I just stared at the counselor. And she'll ask me questions, I give her short answers. By that 3rd week, I went in there and when I open up, I'm in there crying. Ever since then, I'm like, hey, I need this. I don't care who knows that I take counseling because I need it. Because all that stuff I was holding in, it was weighing me down. So it's good to get help. And if you need help, reach out to me. If you're not in the Dallas area, my counselor can find someone in your area. And what a lot of people don't realize, if you work, you can get counseling for free. Go to your HR and ask about the Employees Assistant Program. You could get counseling for free through that program. Not just you. If you're married, if you have kids, they qualify for it also. So definitely take advantage of it and use it. Take advantage of it. So definitely check with your HR and make sure you get help. Because right now we are in some stressful time. Radio said I wouldn't put it past Trump to try and pardon everyone from the Capitol. I wouldn't put it past him either, but if I'm not mistaken, he could sign it, but I think a judge have to agree with it. And reason why I say that, I'm not too sure, but I remember when Trump pardoned his last homeboy, I forgot the guy's name, Michael Flynn. When he pardoned him, the judge said, I'm going to sign it, but that doesn't mean you're not guilty. So the way that he said it made it seem like he had a choice if he wanted to or not. I'm not quite sure on it, but the way that the story was written, that's what it sounded like. And I seen that on a couple of outlets. So I wouldn't put it past him, but at the same time, that's the reason why they need to impeach him. And I feel like they need to take all power away from him until he get out of office. Because if he do that, that's going to cause a bigger problem. Because basically, you putting all these terrorists back out on the street. He'll put majority of them back, but according to the FBI interview I seen on Friday, they're going through. They have about 100,000 videos they're going through, and they are arresting folks all over. So it's a good chance he may try to. He may try to, but I'm not sure if Congress or if they could get involved to prevent it. Because at this point, why? And it's amazing how out of all those Congress or Senates, only 10 of them, 10 Republicans, voted to impeach Trump. That tells you a lot of things. Because the thing is, the ones that did not vote to impeach him, if they represent in your state, you definitely need to let your voice be heard when the re-election come up. How to let it be heard? Get out and vote them out. Vote them out. Get rid of them. Matter of fact, I briefly read a story about the Senate. She was just sworn in 2 weeks ago. She resigned. So this is not a game. We need some people that's gonna take a stand. I don't care who you represent, Democrat, Republican, Independent. It doesn't matter. Do what's right. Take a stand on it. You know right from wrong. And let the truth be told, Trump never should have been in there. He never should have been in there. I want to make sure, because I haven't seen no message on Facebook yet, and want to make sure Facebook is working. I seen somebody posted something but it wasn't working, but just in case, I will repost the video. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Um, so so definitely, man, that's that's a lot. Uh, Hopefully Trump don't do the fool and try to get all these people off. But once again, it it wouldn't surprise me at all. Um, T-Cal said, "Good thing you went and got help." Exactly. I'm glad I did. It probably would have ended my marriage. So I'm glad I got help. And I'm glad I recognized I got help. I recognized I needed help. Because if it wasn't for me recognizing it, I may still be doing the same thing. Now, the good thing, I have some great friends. My crew, they were they would call me. The brothers will get together after crew and they'll say, "Hey man, we need to talk to you." And they'll tell me up front, you need accountability. If you don't need people in your circle that's gonna agree with everything you say and do. You need people that's gonna hold you accountable for your action. That's why I love my crew because they do that, and we would do the same thing for each other. We'll tell you, hey, you messing up, got to get it right. So, radio said I heard some Republicans in the Senate are not struggling with the decision not to let Trump run for office in 2024. This party has completely lost its way. Yes, matter of fact, one Senate, I want to say, I want to say it's a Republican Senate that's changing his party. I may be wrong, but they said the Senate is ran like that party is ran like a cult. After the attack at the Capitol Hill, said it's ran like a cult. Said he's changing. Now I know Vernon Jones, not a shocker. Uh, he decided to go on over there with his homeboy. He um, played Democrat, but now he's gonna go on over there and be a Republican. And as a matter of fact, I forgot to look at it a while ago. Um, the lady that decided to send me this long message, um, get her name on Facebook, Natasha Duncan. Natasha Duncan. I don't even know why I'm saying your name because it's not gonna give you no cred. Not on my page it won't, but you can say what you want to. Hopefully you listening to the show. Like I told you in my response to you. Thank you for watching because you spent the time to watch the video. Thank you for if you don't mind, like the page, subscribe, follow, for you can know when we come live and be a part of the show. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to be a part of the show. Um, but once again, I know whenever I invite, I've had a couple of Trump supporters to call in, but only a very few of them. When I make the offer for them to call in, most of them don't want to. And then they'll get off the page or they come and do a type by, say what they got to say, and they keep moving. But I'm open, I'm fair. I don't care who you represent. So, but to answer your uh, question, radio, I would not be surprised, but why would you want somebody who did a domestic terrorist on our country to be in full control of the country? That don't make sense to me. I won't. Hell, I didn't want him to be in there in the first place. Be honest with you. I seen what he done. Look at Central Park 5. Look at all the lawsuits he had for not wanting black people to live in his buildings. Discrimination about the housing discrimination. Look at all of that. How Trump, he's a thug, a racist thug. That's why I tell y'all, if y'all go back and listen to some of his videos, interviews he done in the past, he was the same way 30 years ago. If the person giving the interview say something, he'll get up and, oh, that's fake news. I don't have to listen to this, and then storm out. Kind of like he did, I think it was ABC about 4 or 5 months ago. Same thing. When they asked him the tough questions, he would run from it. Radio said there's no leadership in the GOP. There really hasn't been for a while. They're by getting and holding on to power in by any means possible. Yeah, I agree with you. That's all they doing. Who can pee the farthest? That's all they doing. Is no other way of putting it. Everybody want to be the chief, and nobody want to be the Indian. So, and that's bad for any party. I don't care who you are. You all have to decide who's going to be your leader. Now, of course, I guess Teddy, he been kind of quiet for since he made a couple of comments, but he still need to go. Now that he got some backlash, kind of like how I reported last week, Ted Cruz, he got a lot of backlash about what happened at the Capitol. He's not a good leader. Him and Ken Paxton both kept pushing the issue, trying to get the presidential results overturned. But why? You're saying to the hell with the people. We allowed our voice to be heard. Now just imagine if Hillary did that in 2016. It would be a problem. That's why I said Trump just need to take his loss and move on. That's all to it. Take your loss and move on. You probably could have came back in 2024, but it's too late now. Radio said if you can't stand up to an incompetent reality TV show star, how are you going to run a country? Exactly. I feel Trump messed it up for the Republican for at least 3 presidential terms. At least 3. I don't see it. I may be wrong, but I don't see it. And for them to sit back and allow this man to continue to expose America to what he allowed us to be exposed to on January the 6th is crazy, because I feel it's going to be someone else going to try to do something else. And what our leaders need to realize, we cannot let our guards down at all. That's why all these threats are coming out. And with all these threats coming out, it's people going to lose. They're going to forget about, they're going to focus on Capitol Hill, D.C., the inauguration, But everybody in America need to be focused about everything going on in your neighborhood. For the simple fact, they can talk about they're going to do these threats in DC, but they could do it in your own city and state. Just like Friday, armed men went down to our state capital to protest. First of all, you coming up on federal grounds with weapons, protest or not, it shouldn't happen. It should not happen. And because y'all are not taking a stand and putting a stop to it, they're going to feel like they can continue to do it. It's my rights to carry a gun. Not on federal grounds, it's not. Especially after that attack, that terrorist attack in Washington. No, it's not. Never should have happened. Yes, radio said at least nothing bad happened at the state capitol today. Oh, not just today, but Friday. Kind of like Wesley Allen Beeler. He now this is what got me. This some other, oh Lord, this is some other mess you got to pay attention to. This is the difference between black laws and white laws. For the simple fact, he goes to, well, I'm looking at a couple of stories. One headline say Virginia man arrested at inauguration checkpoint, say he was lost and didn't mean to bring a gun. That's one headline. Another headline, who is Wesley Allen Beeler? Police arrest heavily armed Virginia man with unauthorized credential for the inauguration. Had a gun with, I think it was over 500 rounds, or it could have been over 500 rounds of ammo. But the first headline said he was lost. Man with loaded gun, fake inauguration pass arrested at DC checkpoint. That's another headline. Now this was on Friday. Now take it. He's out on jail. He's out of jail. Judge told him stay away from the Capitol. Stay away from the Capitol. We seen how the Capitol Police have done people there. How about the sister several years back that was having a mental break and took a wrong turn, got nervous, they shot and killed her. Yeah. But at the same time, he's out on jail. Oh, hold on. I didn't even see this one earlier. So apparently, last week, Wesley allegedly, his mom posted a picture of him on Twitter. Last week, Wesley Allen Beeler sent his mom, Charlotte Beeler, photo of the Capitol building where Joe Biden would be sworn in. Beeler was arrested in an unauthorized area with a gun and 500 rounds. Beeler had firearm related stickers on his vehicle. Um, and I guess uh, on his Facebook, he have all type of stuff on there. It's crazy. Why are some people obsessed with guns so much? I don't get it. Some people are. Some people think it make them invisible. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of. Some people feel like it make them invisible, where they can they have a gun, they can do whatever they want to. But the thing is, you can't. At some point, that's why I say all the time, people got to realize you can have a gun, but if you do the wrong things with those guns, you have to pay the consequence of it. You go out here and shoot somebody, and when you get caught, because eventually you will, when you get caught, then you're going to be in court crying. I didn't mean to do it. Well, what did you think was going to happen? You go out here and shoot somebody, you think you're just going to give them a flesh wound? Yeah, it's a possibility you could, but it's not guaranteed. You think you could shoot them and miss all their main artery? Yeah, you could. It's not a possibility, because once that bullet leave that chamber, you cannot control that bullet anymore. So yeah, you could shoot someone and they survive, but you're still gonna be held accountable for it. That's the key. You will be held accountable. Just because you shoot them, it don't mean, oh, they didn't die. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Mm, no. Even if they don't die, that's an assault. So you will be held accountable. Um, so that's with Wesley Allen Beeler, or whatever his name is. Radio Chaos said, I remember hearing about a guy who accidentally shot his wife in the head when he was cleaning his gun. Yeah. And how that worked out for him. Matter of fact, on one of those police shows I watched, it was a police officer claimed that he accidentally shot his wife, or she accidentally shot herself while she was cleaning the gun. But this guy had a self-made target practice in the house, and he was a police officer, but at the same time, they signs do not lie. They end up showing where she didn't shoot herself, he shot her because of the anger of where the bullet came from. Looked like he was standing over her, and he said she had the gun holding it up. But you're a police officer. You should have made sure the gun was unloaded. So, but that guy's in prison for life, if I'm not mistaken, for killing his wife. So it's definitely, guns are not a game. Some people think it is, but once they get caught, they end up crying and, oh, I didn't mean to do it. No. You know the consequences before you do it. Just take a deep breath. Take it like a man. Because Big Bubba coming. He's waiting. So now Wesley Allen Beeler, that was him. Let's roll on over to Linda Magovern. Um, yeah, look like she's from Stafford, Connecticut. Here's another one. And she was arrested at inauguration checkpoint. Said she was an officer, a cabin member, 63 years old. Said she was a cabin member, and held up a fake badge. So she was arrested for impersonating a police officer. She was arrested near Union Station. Keep your eyes open. I feel like these are all a distraction. Having you focus on Washington, but watch your backyard, because with these incidents, yeah, they can easily have people to come in and do this, do that, but it's a distraction. How the old saying go? Keep your eyes. I think it was Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Um, or an old joke they said, keep your eyes on your luggage, keep your eyes on your money. Look, keep your eyes on what's going on around you, because they giving us distraction, trying to take the focus off of what they're trying to do. Pay attention. Stay woke. Stay woke. Last week we talked about um, threats that was made to kids from Tarrant County Sheriff Department and Fort Worth Police Department down in Burleson. They're saying do not allow your kids to walk home alone, because threats have came out they could be kidnapped. So yeah, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. I said it was Eddie Murphy, but it was Robert Harrison. Some of y'all probably don't know who Robert Harrison is, but definitely go back, pull up some of his old comedy, Baby Kids. Yeah. Um, but yeah, keep your eyes on what's going on in your neighborhood. If you see something, say something. And I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna take it another level. If you see something, don't go to next door, the neighborhood app, and put it on there. Notify the police. Because if you go to that app, the time you see it, it may be hours or days before somebody see it on there. Call the police. Tell them you see suspicious activity. They'll come out. It's better safe than sorry. Don't just put it on Nextdoor app and think everything will be okay. Radio said, what do these people think they're going to accomplish doing this stuff? Nothing at all. I don't see what you can accomplish. I think um, it may have been you, Radio, asked if I thought they would show up at the Capitol with all the National Guards there. It wouldn't be advised. It wouldn't be advised for them to do it. Then again, there's something else we need to be concerned about, because we seen how the terrorist attack happened. Some of these National Guards and military personnel, where are they mindset? I'm just saying because we seen where the Capitol Police just allowed the folks to come in. We seen where some Senates is allegedly in on it. Seen where one Senate actually is over the company that funds um, that type of stuff. The organization, the different uh, hate organization, he funded over it. So who to say it's not possible? And I will hope it's not. But once again, we have seen some. What was that? The sergeant or the corporal or somebody. The lady from was it Virginia? Uh, we talked about it last week. She brought a bus of Trump supporters to the rally, and when they started investigating it, she said it was within her rights. None of her people did anything illegal. But I know it was at least one person that was arrested said they came on a bus, but I'm not sure exactly where they came from. Um, so, and she's active in the military. And here it is. She's arranging to have busload of folks to come to that terrorist account, to that terrorist act, and she's in the military. Who to say it's not other active military personnel that we don't know about that may be pretending to protect the White House, the Capitol? Who to say? So, Radio Chaos said that my pillar guy is even trying to profit off the crit. See, that's why people going to hell with gasoline draws on. Instead of trying to solve the issue, they want to be a part of the issue, and that's the problem within. Welcome to the show, Leanne Tasker. Um, Look like she's listening on Facebook. Welcome to the show. You can always chat live with us in the chat room. You are listening to Speak on It with Who You With, Kurt Dog. Um, don't be shy. You can always tune in, give your advice on, let us know your opinion about the stories we covered tonight. We talked about Patrick Warner Sr., the unarmed black man that was dealing with mental health, shot and killed by a Killeen, Texas police officer. Then we also talked about Wesley Allen Beeler, arrested on Friday with 500 rounds of ammunition and an unauthorized uh, badge for the inauguration. And then Linda uh, Magovern, arrested at a checkpoint for impersonating a police officer. Um, whatever thoughts you have, hey, come on, share your opinion. Don't be afraid. We don't bite. Um, I just state so you could definitely chime in. Let us know how you feel. Or if you don't want to type it, the phone number is strolling across the screen. You can always call in 972-591-3665. 972-591-3665. Only thing I ask, if you call in, please do not block your number. I get too many spam calls already, so I won't answer. You can also text us. So you can text or call in, either way. Um, and if you love to support the show, because we're going to be doing some great things this year, The Cash App is going across also. The $ I am who you with Kurt, though. You can always sow a seed or be a blessing for we can bring some more great things to the show. Uh, but hey, I'm just saying, with all this that's going on, I'm asking everyone to stay woke, be ready. I say it all the time. If you are in the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth area in the Metroplex, and if you are looking at trying to get your LTC license, hit me up. I can hook you up with people that can actually train you properly and get you licensed to do it the right way. Um, because the thing is, we don't know what people may say or do. And it's best to be ready and stay ready instead of trying to get ready. Because once you're trying to get ready and it's too late, you can't go and say, time out, I need to go get ready. No, you need to stay ready. So, so definitely hit me up if you're in the DFW area trying to get your LTC license, and we can hook you up with the right people to make it happen. Right now, I read a story the other day that said that people in Texas, a lot of people are trying to get their license right now, which that's a good thing. And I think nationwide, I think it came out that more minorities are getting a license to carry. Now, I'm like this, get it, but understand, just because you have your license, you have to have enough self control. Just because somebody cut you off, upset you, give you the finger, whatever it may be, that do not give you the right to use that firearm. You will go to jail. Now, if they pull out a weapon and your life is threatened, that's completely different. Uh, and and the way I see it, do not pull it out, not unless you not unless you planning on using it. Don't just be pulling it off just to say I got a weapon, because that other person, if they have a weapon and they see your weapon, guess what they're gonna do? They don't care. You pulled it out, they see it, they're gonna shoot. Because you pull that weapon out, it say a lot. You got a gun. Okay, great. I got one too, but I'm using mine. So I'm just saying, just because you get your license doesn't mean that you can go out and show people you got a gun and just think you I'm doing good. don't don't go out there and just show the gun and act like you unstoppable. You had the rights to do and say whatever you want to say and do. And that's not how it works. You go out there and you pull that gun, even if you pull it out just to show somebody you got it, you can still go to jail. So know your laws, follow the laws, and be patient. Be patient. Um, Radio said, don't become a Kyle Rittenhouse. Exactly. Don't become a Kyle Rittenhouse. Uh, if you don't know who it is, we did a story on him last week. Another story on him. That's the kid that was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, that shot 3 people, killed 2. And he shot 3 people, killed 2 of them because he came from, I believe he's from Illinois or something. Wherever he stayed, he came from there to, he said he got a call to protect a station during the Black Lives Matter movement. He got a call to protect them. And if you go and look at the video, you will see Kenosha, Wisconsin police officer, or it could have been a National Guard. It was somebody that was patrolling, passed by him, thanked him for being there, gave him some water, praised him, and drove off. And it was past curfew. Past curfew. But if that would have been a black person past curfew, nah, would have been something else. Then after he shot and killed the two people and shot the other person, he passed right by the police while everybody saying, hey, he just shot somebody. They passed by him. He passed by with his hands up in the air. And they kept driving by him. He went home, got in his bed, stayed in his bed that night. Then finally, when they realized what happened, I think he finally turned himself in, or they went and arrested him or something. And they went and I seen the bail hearing once he got back to Wisconsin, and one of the fathers, he was upset, which he should be. He lost his son, and he didn't want him to get no bail, which he shouldn't. Just last week, we reported that he was at a bar. He's 18 now, but he was at a bar last week, drinking, hanging out with some Proud Boys, singing their song, holding up their signs, taking pictures, allegedly taking pictures and autographs. But once again, where's the accountability for all of this? And now the judge is going to have a hearing and include in his probation, I think he have to stay away from alcohol and have to stay away from known racists. Well, I guess he got to stay away from his mama. Now, what a lot of people are not talking about also with Kyle Rittenhouse, before that incident happened, with him shooting those 3 people and killing 2, a video surfaced after the shooting showing him where I guess two young ladies got into it. 2 young ladies got into it. And Kyle Rittenhouse started attacking this one young lady. It's on video. So I'm sure that's going to come up in court. But then again, 9 times out of 10, you probably not gonna. They probably gonna handpick the jury. Probably supporters of him and that particular Trump, and they probably gonna handpick them. And he's going to get off scot-free. Now, here's something else. Like I said, Trump said himself Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't guilty. He don't think he did anything wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not one of the people he pardoned. I'm just saying, pay attention. Stay woke. Stay woke. Radio said his lawyer can't be too happy of that video showing him drinking at that bar wearing a free as F shirt. I'm sure he's not happy either. But once again, you got to realize who his fan base is, because a lot of people put up $2 million to get him out of jail. They feel like he was right. A lot of people, matter of fact, I have a childhood friend that we went back and forth, and he told me all the reason why. Um, Told me all the reason why he didn't feel like Kyle was guilty, and he didn't see nothing wrong with it. I've been knowing this dude since I was 16 years old. I'm not losing no sleep over it. So I know I knew what type of person he was, cause I could tell some stories about some of the things I seen. But hey, each his own. More power to you. But he was at that bar 90 minutes after pleading not guilty after his arraignment. Yeah, I didn't know it was right after that, but yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him at all because that's the type of things they do. Um, that's kind of like uh, the young lady that was standing on the side of Mike Pence's desk when the guy was standing there with the horns on, Christina Perola or something like that. She quit her job before they could fire her. And I'm like, really? She held up the sign that said, "The children cry out for justice." The children cry out for justice. But the bad part, she's an occupational therapist with the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Mm, yeah. The bad part is they didn't see nothing they did wrong. It's their right to go and destroy the state capitol. It's their right to break in there. It's their right to destroy the capital that our tax dollars paying for. Well, you feel like it's your right, but a lot of people feel like, ooh, we feel like you basically said the hell with America, but you're a patriot. Yes, you're right. So I feel like it's your right to go straight to jail without passing go. And do not get a get out of free card either. Yes, you're right. So, welcome to the show, Ben Griffins. American is the worst country in the world. Look at your government and your police system. Yeah, American is good. We just have some poor leaders. That's all that is. We have poor leaders. Our leaders do not have a backbone. That's all it is. Because they greed. The greed they have. Uh, Take some tip off the UK. Yeah, um, I agree with you. It's no argument here. That's your opinion. Now, I won't say American is the worst country. We just have the worst leaders, and I pray and hope the next administration coming in they change that tone because, like I say all the time, this election we had to vote for who was going to be best to beat Trump. That's what we had to vote for. Yes, with this new administration, it's all type of history being made within this new administration, from Kamala Harris, Vice President elect Kamala Harris, first female, black female Vice President. Um, so that's history being made. But at the same time, we also, as the people, need to hold them accountable. Just because she's black and just because Joe was in office, was vice president to President Obama, that do not give them a pass. We still need to hold them accountable. Um, we have to hold them accountable. If they don't do what they say they're going to do, in 4 years, we will be voting them out. I hope they come in and do exactly what they say they was going to do, and I think that would be great. Uh, Radio said can't carry no guns in jail. You was absolutely right. You can't. You can't. Uh, Meaning Trump and Biden. You talking about as for what I'm saying about poor leaders? Trump definitely a poor leader. He didn't lead. He didn't read anything that came across his desk. People told him what it was. So he didn't read those laws. He didn't have time to read them. He wouldn't have played golf. Biden, Biden, I think he's doing even though he's not in office now, but I think he's setting the tone for what he's gonna do. Because one thing he have done, he put a lot of the team that President Obama had in place, he put him back in place. So I think he's setting the tone for it. But I also feel that we still need to hold him accountable. Everything they say, we need to hold them accountable. That's why it's so important for us to get out and vote locally. Yes, we need to vote for the presidential election, but our laws are made locally. And some people say, oh no, your vote don't count. Look at Atlanta. Atlanta turned blue for the simple fact Atlanta showed up and got out and voted for this special runoff election that happened on the 5th. So, and because of that, we have two history made with that also. One, the first Jew Senate, and also the first black man to represent Atlanta as for the Senate. So it was history made in that. So I think America's tired of the racism that is going on. And we're taking a stand to make sure we do make a difference. We're tired of it. At some point, enough is enough. This has been going on way too long. Ben Griffith said, I had no respect for Trump. Only ones that have respect for Trump are the ones that kiss his butt. The ones that are doing domestic terrorists on America's soil. And also the elected officials that refuse to do the right thing because they trying to get a seat at the table. They don't want to upset their party by doing what is right. And that's all it is. Radio said Biden at least has a lot of experience. Yes, he do. He knows how government works. Yep. But that means nothing if he doesn't do what he say he is going to do. Bingo. That's why I say, I don't care. If Biden and Harris do not do what they said they're going to do in office, they will be a one-term administration. I've been saying that soon as Biden won the nomination, I said if he don't do what he's supposed to, he's not gonna be in there no longer than 4 years. It's not going to work. We're not going to tolerate it because we are tired of dealing with the same thing over and over again. At some point, they got to realize policemen are are human beings. They don't have supernatural power. They don't get special privilege to go out and kill unarmed black people. That's why we need to hold them accountable. We need to make sure our laws treat policemen just like they would anyone else. You okay? You may make a mistake, fine, but killing an unarmed person, nah. I'm not sure how many happened this year so far, and we're still in January, and already we've had several police shootings this year alone of unarmed people, and it's crazy. Um, it's definitely crazy. I don't think Biden will run for a second term. No, he will be 82 by that time, but who knows for sure? Well, he made another history by being the oldest president elected. So I don't see him running another term either. But I will say this though, it could affect uh, Vice President elect Kamala Harris if she decides to run for president in 2024. For the simple fact, if they don't do what they're supposed to do now, 2024, she won't have the opportunity. I would love to see our first female president. I think it's time for a change. I really feel like it is. A lot of people have problems with a female being in control. I don't. I don't. I hope uh, they do exactly what they say. But we need to make tougher laws. Need to change the laws where when we have domestic terrorists, hold them accountable. You don't get them no slap on the wrist. Just imagine if there was a group of non-Americans came over here and did the same thing that terrorist group did on January the 6th. Do you think they would let them out on bail? I don't. Um, I think Harris will have a big role in Biden president. I think she will too. Let the truth be told, she's probably gonna be running it. He's gonna he's gonna be grooming her for 2024. Then she had the help of President Obama, George Bush, even First Lady Michelle. So yeah, I feel like she will run. Um, Ben, if you still on there, definitely subscribe to the channel. You're on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, tell a friend. We're on Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. You can always live chat with us during the show. And you can always communicate with us during the show. Only thing we ask anybody to do, you part of the show, be respectful. Everybody have their own opinion. You may not agree with me, and that's okay, because we don't think alike. We don't know each other. Uh, we may have different opinion on things, but definitely come back, tell a friend. You can always chat live with us, and we can communicate. Uh, Radio says, "Say what you want to say. Say what you want about Harris. She's tough and smart. Exactly. She is. She is. Definitely tough and smart. And it's not gonna be um it's not gonna be easy for them. Cause put it like this, that's kind of like the Senate we talked about last week. These was the senator or the congresswoman, somebody from Georgia, which we know about Georgia. So, uh, but she talking about filing impeachment papers against Biden on January the 21st. I don't know what for, but once again, they got to look at everything. If they file impeachment against Biden, they're gonna they're gonna make another history in America for 2021. Because if they try to impeach Biden, well, we just got our first black president, female president. And guess what? That means Nessa got to move up to vice president. So now you have two uh, female president and vice president at the same time. That's all I'm saying. But you gotta be careful what you do. You gotta think that whole plan out. But hey, then again, some people saying it for all the wrong reason. But tomorrow night we're gonna hopefully we'll start our show on artists. Where we starting that on tomorrow night. Um, Still working on this issue that we had Thursday night, so hopefully I get it solved. If not, I may have to go back to my old stream, which I really like this one, the laid back stream, the chill stream, and able to do more things. Um, um, Radio said I wouldn't want their job. This is going to be a challenge. Yes. And if you notice, most presidents, once they are in office, they can come in with nice uh, black or brown hair, but by the time they leave office, that hair is silver. uh, you see all they gray going on, just like President Obama. He came in some nice black hair. Shoot, now head full of gray hair. It's a stressful job. It's not easy. Not easy at all. So, but um, other than that, you have been listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. Um, Man, it's been a great day. Hopefully, y'all are staying safe because our numbers are continue to go up with this COVID-19. Praying for anyone that is actually struggling with this right now. Um, I have a good friend that been struggling with it for oh man, I guess almost 2 weeks now, and it's a struggle for them. I sent them a message. They can't eat. Try to eat. They get sick and a lot of pain. So definitely stay safe. Stay safe. I know everybody want to get back out there and do things like they normally do, but this is not the time. We um, have to make sure we taking care of ourselves and our families, and gotta protect ourselves at all time. Wear your mask, wash your hands, whatever you have to do. Don't go hang out. I would love to go and hang out with my crew. Would love it, but unfortunately, this is not the time to do it. My crew and I used to get together like almost every Sunday. Either sometimes Saturday and Sundays, and we haven't been able to do that. So Definitely protect yourself because these numbers are continue to go up. I appreciate each and every one of you that have tuned in. I know a lot of people just tune in. They don't like to chat. That's okay. I hope you're learning something. Hopefully, um, we making you aware of some of the things that is going on in the world from the from the unjust that is going on in the black community, because there's a lot of it and some people just not hearing about it, but this been going on for years. It's out in the open, and we have to hold people accountable for it. That's the only way it's going to change. That's why it's so important to get out and vote every election. I don't care what they voting on. Let your voice be heard and vote. If you wasn't able to vote in November election, go ahead and get registered now and show up for jury duty. When you get those notice, do not try to get out of it. Show up, allow your voice to be heard. Take advantage of it. That is your right to let your voice be heard. And the best way you can do it is get out and vote. And when the politicians come around during elections asking for your vote, a lot of them don't even hardly come around no more. A lot of them just mail you stuff. But you ask them, what are you going to do for my community? What are your stands? And like I said last week, you really want to know where they stand? Ask them two questions. One, how do you feel about that terrorist attack that happened at the Capitol? If they say they was patron, tell them you just lost my vote. Second question, ask them, how do they feel about Black Lives Matter? If they say they're a terrorist group, they just lost my vote. If they have to think about it, wow. If they have to think about it, that's another issue. Don't trust them. Don't allow these people to get your vote without ensuring they're going to do something for you and your community. Basically, getting the streets repaired, lights, having more police patrol, coming up with crime watch programs over there. So that's crazy. Um, Radio just gave me some breaking news, and I trust radio because radio been rolling with me pretty good. And normally I don't do this not unless I can verify it. But radio haven't been wrong yet. Um, Breaking news: Trump is to issue around 100 pardons on Tuesday. Mm, yeah. See, like I said, uh, yeah, CNN just reported it 29 minutes ago. Um, did And Graham said pardon Capitol riders would destroy Trump. So here it is. They are reporting that Trump is going to do 100 pardons on Tuesday. Stay woke. If Cal Rittenhouse name in that, or any of these domestic terrorist names is in that, I'm just speechless because it don't surprise me. I said it earlier before it came out. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't pardon Kyle Rittenhouse and those terrorists that attacked Capitol Hill a week and a half ago. That would tell you exactly how Trump feel about America if he do that. Yeah, it's insane. Radio said it's insane. Yes, it is. That will tell you exactly how Trump feel about America. Know how you see that old cartoon? I think Ford or Chevy came out with it. Got somebody, a kid or something peeing on there. That's what Trump would be doing, peeing on America. He don't care. And the sad part about it, if they don't impeach him, he's probably gonna, if he's not in prison, he's probably gonna try to run again for 2024. That's why this impeachment is so important. To prevent him from holding another government office again. That's why it's important. T. Cal said that doesn't make any sense. We should have gotten him out a long time ago. He never should have been in there in the first place. But because people felt like he's a reality star, they would not elect him. Well, you got to realize Reagan was in the movies too. Reagan was in the movies. He was an actor. They elected him. We got to get out the mindset thinking, oh, enough people will not vote him in or vote people in, so we don't have to go and vote. That's why our votes are so important. And for these lawmakers that don't want to take a stand and do the right thing, well, guess what? We need to get them out. We need to vote them out. Trump just wants to leave scorched earth behind him. Yeah. That's Trump. That's what he want to do. Trump don't care about nobody but himself. Listen to what Mary Trump said. How Trump messed her father out of their father in Harrison. But we as the people need to take a stand. We need to show up and vote every election that comes around. I don't care what election it is. If it's in your state, get out and vote. In your county, your city, whatever, get out and vote. If you're voting on a bond, city council, school district, get out and vote. It doesn't matter. Let your voice be heard and vote smart. Vote smart, because we should not even be discussing this. They should have impeached him when they had the chance. But we had a lot of people trying to keep that seat at the table. And because of that, look where we are today. Look where we are today. Yeah. People don't care. Radio said, thanks to Electoral College for giving everyone Trump. Yep. You're right. Because Hillary should have won. Let the truth be told. But the same way he won that election against Hillary. Okay. Yeah. Trump, he need to go. I hope everyone is taking notes of all of their elected officials that is deciding not to do the right thing. I've said many of times, Greg Abbott, our governor, he need to go. Dan Patrick, our lieutenant governor, the one that talked about putting $1 million reward out if anybody can prove voter fraud and take it out of his campaign fund, he need to go. Dan the Thug Patrick, I call him a thug for the simple fact he got charged 5 years ago for fraud. Haven't seen a day in the courthouse yet. And that's another name I wouldn't be surprised that is not on that pardon list. For the simple fact that Dan Patrick was the one that leading that lawsuit with 17, 18 states? He was the one that was leading that. All because he was trying to get a pardon from Trump. And not only that, a couple of months ago, yeah, he had a case filed against him 5 years ago, but a couple of months ago, he's being investigated again. This time, because when the pandemic hit, when he wrote the order for Texas not to do foreclosure, he did it on behalf of one of his friends that was getting ready to lose his property. And he wanted to go to court and testify for the guy. He wanted to fight the case. His advisor said, no, we don't advise you to do that. So either they quit or he terminated them in retaliation. And they wrote a letter to the FBI to investigate him. That's why I call him Dan. Ken the Thug Patson. Because he is a thug. And then Ted Cruz, don't get me started with him. We shipping him back to Canada. Yeah. All four of them need to go. They need to go. We're going to make a change here in Texas. And hopefully y'all make a change where your states are operating like Texas. We need to make a change. And don't forget about those senates when the pandemic hit that did that inside trading, sold off all their stocks. See, we ain't forgot about that either. So definitely pay attention. Radio said, how can Trump pardon Giuliani when he hasn't been charged yet? He can't. He can't. See, what Trump is trying to do, Trump is trying to pardon all these folks, hoping when the charges come down on him, they can help him. They can help him. Unfortunately, they won't be able to help him. I feel like he need to be held accountable to the full extent of the law. All these years, all that mess he done, now he's finna be held accountable for it. The Central Park 5. Even after it came out and the movie came out about them, he still refused to apologize for taking out that full page ad saying they should be lynched. He still refused to apologize. So, my thing is, come Tuesday, it's going to be interesting. I want to see the names on there. I want to see the names on there. And he definitely cannot pardon himself. And you talking about Giuliani, remember, Trump refused to pay him the $20,000 a day because of a disagreement. Don't forget, Trump campaign still owe a lot of cities money for all the rallies he had. We talked about that a month or so ago before we went on break. Yeah, karma is a mother. It's gonna come back and bite him. But hey, thank you for that information, Radio Chaos. I always trust what you put up because you haven't steered me wrong yet. That's what this show is about. Sometimes things happen while we on the show. For the ones first time listening, we may have to stop and research something real quick because we are live. We are live. So, and with us being live, if something like this happened, telling us Trump gonna issue around 100 pardon on Tuesday, every eyes in America need to pay attention to that pardon list. Every eyes in America need to pay attention. If he pardon anybody who attack America, that's not good at all. It won't be good. I'm telling you, Trump is that hateful. He would be the one to do it just to see what people say. I gotta make history. That ain't the type of history you wanna be. You wanna have behind your name. Bad enough, he won't be able to pardon himself because no charge has been filed. And the only way Mike Pence could have pardoned him if he would have resigned and Mike Pence became president. So, and Mike Pence could have pardoned him if the charges was filed by then. Like I said, January 21st is going to be very interesting because some things probably going to happen that people didn't expect. As for Trump, matter of fact, Risky sent me a story earlier where the military is not going to give him a send off like they normally would do. And so that's going to be interesting. Military, like, no, man, forget you. Apparently, Trump didn't trust Pence to pardon him. After I said what he said about Pence anyway, about the overturning the election. He told Pence that you could go down as a patriot, or you could go down as a kitty cat. And I thought it was fake when he said it until I seen it on that show on come on at night, not TMZ, but one of those news outlets. I seen it on, and I was like, wow, he did say it. But once again, I'm like this. If he would have resigned, Pence probably would have turned his back on him. You gonna call that man a kitty cat? uh, Boy, my people. See, I'm getting better. I didn't say what I said the other day, so I'm getting better. Um, uh, so, yeah, I think that's my cue. But hey, I'm gonna be watching this story come Tuesday. This week probably gonna be a pretty busy week. Like I told y'all last week, come inauguration, I'm gonna focus on that. If anything pop off, I will go live soon as it happen, and we will report on it because anything can pop off. But the biggest thing I ask everyone, please pay attention to your surrounding. I don't care who you are, where you at. because like how some of these folks have done at this point when you're at war, they don't care who you are. If you're not with them, you're against them. So definitely pay attention to your surrounding. Other than that, I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. I love each and every one of you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Until tomorrow night, if the good Lord say the same, I will see you then. Peace.